Hi, so I'm Nima and I am the journalism coordinator for All Women Lead.
I am Mira or Emma, and I am the journalism manager for All Women League.
And today we are joined with Tala Abu Hayyaneh from the SAMRU. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, am I looking at the cameras?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Tala Abu Hayyaneh. I am the president of the Representation Executive Council of the Students Association of Mount Royal University.
So could you just talk us through your journey from being a student to becoming the SAMRU president?
That's a long one, but if I were to put it in short words, I started at MRU as a policy studies student shortly after coming here to Canada. And that journey led me to be getting involved on campus right away. I was really craving a community that could support me in my growth, a community that I can get to know and feel connected with, the new place that I now have reconnected and moved to. And I really found a lot of great people along the way. I found people who mentored me into becoming a leader, people who mentored me into appreciating the community around me, and people just supported me and cheered on me from day one. And I'm really grateful to all those people that have come along the way and just the opportunities that are available to here to me at MRU. I've seen myself grow. I've seen myself contribute to a community that I really love, especially to students and student-specific causes. And especially as a woman of color in these spaces, it's really important that women like me get to see people like them in leadership. And I think that was a big motivator to where I am right now.
Who would you say is your biggest influence in your life?
I would say all of the women in my life are big motivators and role models in my life. I have seen women in my life achieve big things. I've seen women in my life push me to great extents where I didn't even think I would even go. But other than the women in my life, I think my dad. Being an Arab woman, there's a stereotype about dads being unsupportive and being, limiting and all those things. But I'm the eldest daughter in my family, and the way I was raised to do everything I want. I was raised to be respectful, but also limitless. And that all goes to how my dad wanted to raise me. And I think there's a big aspect to who I am right now as a person and as a leader. And I attribute a lot of that to how my dad raised me in my life.
As a woman of color, did you find certain aspects of university life difficult to navigate because so many of our members from All Women Lead are women of color? So what did you think?
I would say MRU is a very welcoming community, and back when I joined MRU, our logo was still "You Belong Here," and there was never a time on campus that I felt like I did not belong here. But I know there was some instances here and there where I felt like I still needed to navigate a space that was very foreign to me. There was often many rooms that I walked in, many meetings that I was part of, where I would be the only person of color in a room, or I would be the only student who is a person of color in that room. And being able to share that perspective and being able to bring those different ideas is very important. So I think the experience of students from BIPOC backgrounds on campus is very unique, especially as a woman. And I would say it's something to be embraced because we bring a different perspective, we bring a different lens to things. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's all about that intersectionality of different identities
Mm-hmm.
and how that empowers you and empowers others in the room.
Yeah.
I really adore that. With all of that in mind, can you think of a moment in your life that changed your directory? If you can think of any, it's okay if you can't.
Yeah. I think a big moment in my life that changed the trajectory of my life was in 2013, still a teenager. I was still living in Jordan, where I'm from. That year, my grandfather has passed away in the fall. And around that time, there was a big, big opportunity that came into my life, which was an opportunity to go and study abroad. And that opportunity came at a time where the family was going through a lot. I had to write an exam just the day after my grandfather has passed away, so I actually had to miss the first day of his funeral. But everybody in my family pushed me to go and write the exam instead of sit there and just mourn. And I think to know that there was a community around me that was willing to support me, regardless of what was going on, was a big life-changing moment in my trajectory, because ever since then, as a teenager, I knew that there's nothing that could stop in my way. Even if it's a big life event, there's always a way to work around things. There's always a way to grieve and still live your best life at the same time.
Exactly, and then you have that help from the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Community showing up for you is a big important thing.
Absolutely.
I cherish that a lot.
Yeah, we're at our best with community.
Yeah.
Just the way that you persevere through that, especially with the help of others and your own strength, that's really inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about community. Is that what you want to like foster as being a SAMRU president? Do you want to like build like a larger community base of just
Yeah.
you?
Absolutely. I think we thrive as a community together. I can't do everything on my own. I can't make all the decisions for students on my own. So it's very important to talk to everybody, consult with people as much as possible. Just understand how people feel about things, because I can't come and assume that I know everything about what students need. My needs as a student, as a woman of color, is very different from someone else's. Even in the space of being a person of color, my needs are different than other people of color needs. So I think in general, there's that holistic aspect of we function as a community, and our decisions, no matter what they are, whether we like to think it or not, they impact everybody around us.
Yeah.
Advocating. Advocating is a big part of the REC. And so what are some initiatives that are really near and dear to your heart, or something that you would like to implement as your time as SAMRU president?
Being an advocate is a lot of work. As a woman of color, I've already been an advocate for myself, and now to advocate for others is another big taking. But especially on the student side, the main thing that we have worked on this year is advocating to the provincial government on different funding aspects that impact students. So in the past few years, the provincial government has cut funding to universities, which has impacted how students are being, impacted by the services that are cut, or maybe just the lack of funding in certain areas. And that also inadvertently impacts people's ability to access funding through the provincial government. So whether it's to Alberta Student Aid or different avenues of funding. And in some ways, tuition has also increased for students because of that lack of funding. So making sure that we are honing in on the right people who actually need to listen to students. Sometimes we think the administration is our enemy, but really there is no enemy here. It's just a bunch of people that need to come together and work together. And we mainly look to work with the government, because the main source of funding for students and university is the government, because we are publicly funded universities. And that is a big important thing that students need to understand. There is very much the administration can do, but without the support and funding of the government, it's very little that the university can continue to do with the resources that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll see that happening anytime soon?
We're hopeful. There's a lot that goes into government relations and
Yeah.
making sure that the government is listening to us. And depending on the climate of what the government is trying to prioritize at the moment. But I think a big important thing that I could see happening is students becoming more active and more vocal towards the government, more vocal in their voting patterns, because however we vote as a voting population who is eligible to vote when you're over 18 is very impactful. Showing up to the polls. We have an upcoming federal elections next year. We have an upcoming municipal election coming up next year. And then in 2 years, we have a provincial election. So making sure that people show up to the polls and they vote for the people who they think will represent them adequately. Not just you right now as a student, but think ahead 10 years down the line. You know, who is the next generation of students that is going to come and be impacted by your vote?
So what is one piece of advice that you'd want to give people watching this, or one takeaway from this interview?
I would say get engaged. I would have never thought I would become a president of a students association ever in my life. I've been empowered. I've been, told that I could do anything I wanted to do, but never this. I never thought I would even get the chance to win the vote of, students at a university.
You're very impactful.
Thank you. And I think it's very important that people believe in themselves, but also listen when others encourage you. Imposter syndrome can take over us and make us think that there's so many things that we're incapable of doing, but you're capable. And when people tell you to run for a position or to do something, they see it in you, they believe it in you. And even when people don't see it in you, even when it's just a thought in your head, act on it. You never know where it could take you.
And if you were sitting with your younger self instead of us, what's one piece of advice you'd like to give her?
Oh, wow. I would tell her that she is very loved and that no matter how childhood played out for her, that she is going to do so well in life later on.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's touching.
That is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming here for this interview and allowing us to have the honor of interviewing you this morning.
It's an honor for me.
Thank you for opening up and sharing your wisdom as well.
Thank you guys.
I'm sure it was very impactful for me personally.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to see you guys leading this too.
Thank you.
Leading is important, especially as a woman.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We take inspiration from the best.
We do.
Keep it up.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Wednesday, snowy morning.
Snowy Wednesday morning. It's cold outside, and coming here and letting us interview, it means the world.
Thank you.
And so, this is Tala Abu Hayyaneh, everyone. Make sure you follow her on Instagram and make sure you guys keep up with what SAMRU is doing. Follow them on socials and subscribe to your newsletters.
Yes. Yeah. Get involved. You can always email us at representation@samru.ca if you ever have any complaints or if you just want to give us compliments. We also take those. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
And I
thank
hope
you
you
for
guys
coming.
enjoyed this first episode.
Yes.
Thank you.